Hello guys, welcome to another Relab Life episode. This is a special one because this is our last episode for the season. It's episode 80. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to get constructive feedback in a better way from your clients. Enjoy. Alright guys, so one of the most difficult thing to do as a designer is to get constructive feedback from your clients or team members or stakeholders or whoever that may be. But to get feedback that is quality and gives you clear indication on what to do next, what next step actions to do next, can be quite tricky sometimes, because oftentimes when you deal with stakeholders or clients, sometimes they don't really know it until they get to see the final thing. So you'd really like to get inside their thoughts and try to see what is it exactly that needs to be fixed, or is the whole thing actually perfect, that it's ready to go into the next level. All right, so today I'm going to show you how to do this, and the best way for me to find out and how to do this is to use this methodology where you try and get their positive feedback first, then their negative feedback, and then try to summarize what to fix from that negative feedback and how to prioritize it from a next step action point of view. All right, so we'll get into this one. All right guys, so I'm going to pretend that the positive feedback and the negative feedback has been listed on the wall or the whiteboard, but generally what I'd like to get the clients to do is to list down the positives first. So get them to focus on the positive points that they like about your design. And for example, in here, they've said they love the dynamic layout, like the mobile menu experience, love the tone of voice and the copy, video content is great, huge product image is perfect. So you get an idea of the things that they love, and they remind themselves of the things that they love as well. So hopefully you get a number of these post-its. Sometimes if you don't, right? But the whole point of this exercise is for you to be able to know what the negative feedbacks are and how to deal with it. All right, and so once you've done a positive round, get into the negative round. Get them to think about the things that they don't really like from your design concept. For example, price text is too small. Beware of overusing sliders. Don't like the color scheme. Make sure SEO tags are considered. Too much negative space. So things like that can be gathered. Now, you can get more than 5 cards or how many ever. Usually I'd like to use a time timer or just time the session, give them 2-3 minutes to think as much problems as possible from your design concept, and then just get them to list it down silently, individually as well. So if you have, say, 2-3 stakeholders from the client side, get the 2 or 3 of them to write down all of their thoughts individually, not together, without discussing. All right, and so you've got the list of negative feedback on the wall or on the board. So the next thing to do is to focus on the negative feedback and get them to prioritize based on what they think is the most important one to deal with. So for example, give them some of these sticky dots, right? Depending on how many cards are up on the wall, but generally based on experience, you'd be able to give them a bunch of them, say like 10 dots, and they can place the sticky dots onto the cards that they think are the most important to deal with. If they feel very, very strongly of a certain challenge or problem that they feel that it's absolutely important and needs to be fixed, get them to post more than 1 sticky dot, so maybe 2 or 3, right, to make a statement. So get them to do that. I'm going to pretend I'm doing it right now, okay? Based on priority from a client's point of view. So price text is too small, that's important, but to me the most important thing to deal with is that I don't like the color scheme. That needs to be fixed, and so I'm just going to put a couple more. Make sure your SEO tags are considered. I think that's important too. There's too much negative space. I mean, that's all right. Let me just see. Beware of your using sliders. Price text is too small. Now, as a retailer, the price is important to me, so I want to make sure that I make a statement out of it. Oh, one of the dots just fell off. So I'm going to put 2 dots in there. The color scheme, actually, that's even more important now that I think of it. So there we are. Beware of overusing sliders, too much negative space. Maybe I'll have 1 in there. Okay, so let's pretend that the time is up and those are my priorities. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder the priorities based on the things that I wanted to focus on. So first of all, I don't like the color scheme. That is very important. So I'm going to make a tree like this based on my sticky dots. That's got 3, this one's got 2, both of these has 1, and then that one has none. So based on that order, I know the things that I'm about to prioritize. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna position this into this priority matrix. It's based on value and effort. So the higher the value, the more important it is for me to action. The higher the effort, the more I need to consider whether I need to action it right now or not. So we're gonna go by the highest value and the lowest effort. If it's deemed to be high value and high effort, then maybe yes, I need to do it. But if it's low value and high effort, potentially I don't need to do it. So by doing this together with your clients and stakeholders or even team members, it gives everyone a visual idea, a very objective idea on what to action next. So I'm going to pretend that I'm reviewing this. Okay, so the feedback about not liking the color scheme, I think that is high value because it has something to do with my brand. So it needs to be a high value thing. In terms of effort, this goes back to the designer, whether they think it is a high effort or low effort. Someone might say, oh no, it's actually an easy switch of a color swatch. And so they think it's low effort. So it's high value, but low effort, which means it sits in this area right here. I'm just gonna put it there. Price text is too small, increasing price text. The designer also thinks that increasing the font size isn't too much of a problem if it's done correctly within the components. And so it's high value from a client perspective and it's low effort too. And so it goes there. Next thing, make sure SEO tags are considered. The designer might not know so much about this, but based on the design, let's just say the developer thinks that it is actually going to take a bit of time. So they see this as a slightly higher effort in terms of a value. It's probably more of a long-term value from a client's perspective. And let's just pretend that we're going to put it somewhere here. Beware of overusing sliders. From a designer's point of view, it's low effort. From a developer's point of view and technical person point of view, the less sliders they are, the more happy they are perhaps. And so it's probably a low effort, medium value. Let's just put it there. Since we've only have 5, let's also consider the ones that was not voted. Too much negative space. The designer might see that as being a higher effort thing to do. And if the client thinks it's a low value, then it could be high effort, but low value, that side. So now we have these negative feedbacks being prioritized. And so it gives everyone a visual idea on what to deal with in a priority order based on timeline, budget, or whatever other variables that may have been involved in the project. So from my point of view, what we could collectively agree on is fixing the color scheme is the most important thing to do. Action number 1. Action number 2 is increasing the price text that was too small. That is important. So basically everything that is under this bracket here, high value, low effort, needs to be actioned straight away because everyone's seeing that as low value. Beware of overusing sliders, make sure SEO tags are considered. These are the ones that we think now, by judging by this, is very realistic to do, and we know in what order. And we could list this down as well in an email, in your project management software, in your task management software, or whatever it is, to document and communicate back to the client that they know these are the things that we've decided on this workshop. All right, and this is all done very, very quickly in a very objective way. All right, so hopefully that brings a lot of value to you. I like doing this with anything that we do when it requires feedback. It just gives a structure to your feedback discussion rather than just throwing out points here and there. Someone might forget about it, and then there's no objective value around it. All right. Anyway, guys, this is the last video of this season. As usual, we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be back very, very soon with more contents like this. As a matter of fact, we would love to hear from you in terms of comments, feedback. Is there anything that we could do to make this better for you? Is there anything else that you would like to see? please drop down your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and share this to the world. Love you all. Bye.